my last full day in Seoul. This might be my latest start to any day in Seoul. I'm waiting for Edward to get here. We're supposed to have one final meal before he heads back to Ulsan, because he leaves on Monday, which is 2 days from today. So he's heading back down to Ulsan to go spend the last couple days with his family. So we're gonna link up and have one final meal. We're trying to get reservations at this one like steak spot in Yongsan, but we reached out through DM because that's what they said on their website. It's like, oh, like DM us on Instagram. So I shot them a DM. Haven't heard anything back, so that might not be a sure thing. But I'm just gonna soak in the neighborhood until Edward gets here. I'm gonna walk to the CU that I haven't been going to because I didn't realize that there was a CU. Well, I shouldn't be surprised, but yeah, there's a CU around the corner. I've been going to the one on the main street that's like way down the road. But walking home, soaking with the vibes, I stumbled across another one. So we're gonna go peep this one. We're gonna try to get some candy and some of my favorite chips so I can take home. So when I'm feeling really sad about not being here in Seoul, I can just eat those snacks, and that'll be one way to make me feel a little better. But also, filming these vlogs definitely helps out a lot too, getting to edit them and get to relive the trip through that way. And it's great therapy throughout the time in between my Seoul trips because I get to just go back and rewatch them and relive moments that I don't always think about. But this trip has been amazing. I know the day just started for me, so I don't want to get too sentimental right now. But just thinking about yesterday, we dedicated the whole day to latency, and that shit was just legendary. That group has so much potential, and I hope the best for them. I can't wait to see them in America when they do make it, because I know they'll make it. And yeah, it's going to be a good one. But we'll tap back in when Edward shows up, inevitably. But here we are at the CU that I didn't know about that was right around the corner. Struck out on the chips and the candy bar. It's very specific. It's like local shit. It's like this lumberjack. I don't even know the brand, but it's like this lumberjack kettle chip. It's amazing. And then the candy that I was looking for is a Biscoff Kit Kat, which I've only seen here in Korea. I've bought one. I ate it this morning. I want another one. So we're gonna go to the GS25 down the road and try to see if they have it. But I just wanted to film the Glico Man. Glico Man. Shout out Osaka here in Seoul. I walked by that Glico Man sign so many times during this trip, and I really wanted to film in front of it. There was a gentleman smoking outside who was looking at me wondering what the hell I was doing. But it's for the famous Glico Man. Even here in Seoul, in Seongsu, Glico Man is getting people to stop by. But I'm really happy that I chose this neighborhood. Like I said, my last trip, I spent the majority of my time coming down this way to begin with, which is so funny because last trip I stayed down here, last trip I stayed near Seoul University, but I spent most of my time down in this way. So I was like, okay, for this trip, like let's just stay down this way since we're doing most stuff over there anyways. And this trip, the majority of the things that I wanted to do weren't even in Seongsu. So who knows where I will stay next. Definitely will be somewhere off line 2. That's one of the best tips Matt has ever given me. It was like, yo, for convenience sake, like you should stay somewhere off line 2. So that's what I've been doing since he gave me that recommendation. So when we come back in November, we will keep that trend alive. But the restaurant DM'd me back. Shout out to them being up early. Let's see Okay. All right, cool. They what? I can't think right now. They've accepted my reservation. Um, so Edward and I will be eating some of this crazy steak, very expensive steak, but it'll be a great way to have our final meal. We've eaten at a lot of good places, but I think this one might be one of the best. Okay, I'm going to the GS25 right now. Okay, the GS25 came through on the chips. We still can't track down this Kit Kat Biscoff, but maybe we'll find one eventually. But there's this coffee shop that I wanted to come to because it's giant and it's right by my place, so we're finally gonna go in here for the first time. We're just checking everything off the list today. All right, we're just wrapping up with Scene Coffee here in Konkuk. The main reason I wanted to come here is because they had this giant advertised poster for bagels, and it's like, I love a good bagel, but it's in a huge space. The bagels were good. I got a salt and butter bagel, and I got a blueberry bagel, which is so funny because I eat blueberry bagels all the time back home, and I could tell that the blueberries just are weird, but here they're like super fresh. I could tell that they're like super fresh blueberries. And I got a vanilla latte with oat milk. Shout out the oat milk, and it was perfect. I think this trip I've had way better coffee than my previous 2 trips. Like at like smaller like local businesses, because my last trip I just stuck to a maple latte from Tim Hortons, which was perfect. It's perfectly manufactured. I would get a maple latte and a chocolate donut. Normal, just a chocolate donut. It's not very common. We were vlogging, trying to avoid people. It's not very common. So the fact that there was a Tim Hortons around the corner and I could get a chocolate donut, I just had to take advantage of that. So I just relied on that. But this time, I went to like a bunch of different coffee places, and they were all really good. But yeah, so shout out to Scene Coffee in Konkuk. Edward doesn't understand being on time, so I had to grill him because he said he was going to be here at 11, which normally I don't care. Shit happens. I don't like being late. If he wants to be late, that's fine. But today, when we have like a reservation, it's like, dude, you can't be late. So I had told him, like, bro, you said you're going to be here, because he was trying to get here at like 11:40. I'm like, bro, you said you're going to be here at 11. I made us reservations for this fucking spot. So instead of, I don't even know how he was going to get here, to be honest. I don't know how I was going to take him. He's not staying that far away from me. He's staying just on like the other side of the bridge in Gangnam. But I don't know. I think he was going to take like a scooter or something to get here. And he said it was going to take 40 minutes. I'm like, bro, you can't take that long to get here. So he instead opted for an Uber and said he was going to get here before 11. So I'm kind of rushing back to my Airbnb, which I didn't plan on going back today until like the end of the day, but he wanted to meet there. So I'm rushing back to the Airbnb to beat him because he thinks I'm just at home waiting for him. But I'm like, hell no, I had to come out and explore the vibes. I'm actually, before we get back to the Airbnb, there's this parking structure. It's not that big of a parking structure, but I'm just so intrigued by this parking structure. We're gonna walk to the top of it, check out the views, and I would sometimes cut through it instead of walking in like straight lines, I would cut diagonal through this parking lot. It would save some time. Shout out to the high school kid that I saw do it, because when I first got here, I don't know the ins and outs of the neighborhood, the little cuts and stuff. So when I saw this kid dip into the parking lot, I thought he had a car. I was like, damn, this kid's rich. But then next thing you know, when I turned on the main street, he was like way ahead of me. So I'm like, oh, okay, that was a little shortcut. So we're about to head up this structure right now. Hopefully nobody's coming down the street. There's a lot of cars parked right here. And I don't think I've been in this neighborhood around this time of the day. Normally I'm like long gone by now. So it's interesting to see so many cars. Okay. I don't know if I can walk up there. Is there stairs? Oh yeah, there are stairs. I'm gonna walk up the stairs just to be safe, because it is pretty narrow going up that ramp right there. So I don't wanna be walking up it and have a car trying to come up or come down and me be in the way. Because here, you don't have the right of way. So there is security. I don't even know if I'm allowed to walk up here, but we're gonna figure it out. If we get in trouble, then we get in trouble. There's just like security vehicles. Yeah, I don't think I'm supposed to be up here. But we're doing it for the vlog. Maybe the security guard. There's CCTV everywhere, so if I'm doing anything wrong, they can see me. But I feel like I'm way higher than I actually am. That's the block that I'm staying on. I don't know. Okay, we're gonna walk down the ramp so we can avoid the security guard. Because if security shows up, starts yelling at me, chances are I'm probably not gonna understand anything they're saying. So we're gonna walk down the ramp to evade security and then just get out of here. But yeah, but it's just a random parking structure. It's like 24 hours if you want to like park, which is nice. Because I don't know if like, so I'm saying like this building, and I don't know how it's divided. I don't know if somebody owns like the entire building, or oh shit, I think Edward's calling me. I think he might have actually beat me to the Airbnb. Oh yeah, he is. He did beat me. I could see him way down there. He's calling me. Like I said, he doesn't know that I left. This is an extra long clip. But yeah, he's calling me. But he looks shady because he's all just waiting. Hold on, we're gonna prank him. I can get my phone, we're gonna prank him. All right. See if he picks up. He didn't pick up. Hold on. I think because I keep calling his phone. All right, let's go FaceTime audio. FaceTime audio.
What?
What up?
No,
Where are you?
I'm downstairs.
Oh shit! Hold on. Give me like 20 minutes. I got to get ready.
Oh my god, I thought we had a reservation.
What a lovely fucking Saturday it is. So I left Gangnam. I went all the way back to Seongsu because I thought they would have the QWER pop-up at the Musincha in Seongsu, but turns out it was at the Musincha in Gangnam. So I literally left Gangnam, went to Seongsu, and to come right back to Gangnam. And before Edward left, he gave me 100,000 won. So I'm like, great. What am I going to do with 100,000 won? It's not going to do me that good in California. So I'm like, fuck it. Let's make the trek to the QWR offline event and make a real stab at getting these graduation lucky draws. So I go upstairs, film a little bit of the pop-up, which was really cool. They're playing the music video for Ceremony. And then I have to go down to the basement to make my purchase, and I wait in this long-ass line. And it's so hot. And I've never bought anything from Musincha, so I wait in this long-ass line, get to the front, and I tell the guy, can I get 2 sets of the album? 2 sets. So we're just gonna make a stab. Hopefully we can pull every member, even get a chance at pulling a signed Polaroid. The guy goes, grabs the 2 sets, and I'm thinking, hell yeah, this was so worth it to come all the way back to Gangnam because the graduation cap photo cards were awesome. So he gets the 2 sets, and he's like, okay. I whip out my 100,000 won, and he looks at me, and he's like, bro, like, no cash. And I'm like, oh my God. I was like, I'm so sorry. I was like, I'm gonna go then, because I could pay for it with my card, but I'm trying to get rid of this won before I leave the country tomorrow. And unfortunately, I don't think that's gonna happen. So we're back in Gangnam, one we didn't plan on being, but the plan is I'm gonna go to the CU across the street, it's over there. And then depending on if an Uber can get me home faster, I might take an Uber. Worst case, I might just try to go back to line 2 and ride the subway home. But we're gonna get pizza and we're gonna watch UFC Perth, which will be a great way to end this day, this bittersweet day. But we're gonna get a drink, maybe a Picard Sweat, we'll figure it out. Looking for a hat, and I totally mixed up the brands that I was looking for. So I went to Coex for no reason. So I'm still in Gangnam, but we're about to leave Gangnam and we're gonna go to the Musincha Megastore in Seongsu, which is 1 subway stop down from where I'm staying. So I think we're gonna end the day in my neighborhood, which is bittersweet. I'm sad I didn't get to see Big Chang. I'm sad I didn't get to see Matt or Kevin. But it's just, it's these last parts of the trip that get me. Because last time, if you remember, we flew back from Osaka. We went from Osaka straight back to Korea. Matt and I split up. He went home to Incheon. I went home to where I was staying near Seoul University. And then we met up at Baby Doll that night for a show. I can't remember who played. But just that gap from getting back to Korea and having to wait to go to Baby Doll was just so depressing, because I was just thinking about how much fun we've had, and now we gotta go back to my normal life, which is fine. Could be a lot worse. So I try not to get too down on myself, because, you know, just gotta be thankful for what you have. Obviously, you just gotta try to enjoy life as much as you can, because this thing is not gonna last forever. So that's why we always try to live it up. That's why I want to try to come to Korea as many times as I can. But yeah, We're about to hit the subway, and we're about to go to Sungsu. Go to Sungsu. Matt's not here. Edward's not here. It's just solo Jamie. Can we find a new hat? Can we find a pair of pants? That's what we're trying to do when we get to Sungsu. Let's tap in. What a lovely fucking Saturday it is. So I left Gangnam. I went all the way back to Sungsu because I thought they would have the QWER pop-up at the Musincha in Sungsu, but turns out it was at the Musincha in Gangnam. So I literally left Gangnam, went to Sungsu, and to come right back to Gangnam. And before Edward left, he gave me 100,000 won. So I'm like, great. What am I going to do with 100,000 won? It's not going to do me that good in California. So I'm like, fuck it. Let's make the trek to the QWR offline event and make a real stab at getting these graduation lucky draws. So I go upstairs, film a little bit of the pop-up, which was really cool. They're playing the music video for Ceremony. And then I have to go down to the basement to make my purchase, and I wait in this long-ass line. And it's so hot. And I've never bought anything from Musincha, so I wait in this long-ass line, get to the front, and I tell the guy, can I get 2 sets of the album? 2 sets. So we're just gonna make a stab. Hopefully we can pull every member, even get a chance at pulling a signed Polaroid. The guy goes, grabs the 2 sets, and I'm thinking, hell yeah, this was so worth it to come all the way back to Gangnam because the graduation cap photo cards were awesome. So he gets the 2 sets, and he's like, okay. I whip out my 100,000 won, and he looks at me, and he's like, bro, like, no cash. And I'm like, oh my God. I was like, I'm so sorry. I was like, I'm gonna go then, because I could pay for it with my card, but I'm trying to get rid of this won before I leave the country tomorrow. And unfortunately, I don't think that's gonna happen. So we're back in Gangnam, one we didn't plan on being. But the plan is I'm gonna go to the CU across the street, it's over there. And then depending on if an Uber can get me home faster, I might take an Uber. Worst case, I might just try to go back to line 2 and ride the subway home. But we're gonna get pizza and we're gonna watch UFC Perth, which will be a great way to end this day, this bittersweet day. But we're gonna get a drink, maybe a Picard Sweat, we'll figure it out.
Stop. I can go up and down. I can reach my 사랑하게 될까 넌 내 눈만 봐.
We just got back to the Airbnb. I ordered food. I'm so hungry. I haven't eaten since lunch when Edward and I went to Wuyukini, this crazy Hanwoo beef spot. Amazing steak. Mashed potatoes were fire. The panchan was amazing. But after running from Gangnam to Songsu, back to Gangnam, now I'm back in Songsu, I figured I made in time for the main card for the UFC. So we ordered pizza from a local pizza spot that got 5 stars with like hundreds of ratings. We got a pepperoni pizza, just keeping it simple for tonight, and some hot wings. This will be my final meal. And I didn't buy as much clothes as I thought I did. Honestly, all I bought were 2 latency soccer jerseys, and I bought a crew neck, a hearts to heart crew neck. So this is literally the last clean shirt that I have. So we're gonna watch the UFC main card. We're gonna eat, re-energize, and then we're gonna head back out. We're gonna try to catch the subway. Hopefully the UFC ends. I think the UFC will end before the subway stops running. Worst case, if it doesn't, we'll just catch an Uber. But we're gonna head to this vintage shop that is 1 subway exit down the road, and it's a 24-hour vintage spot that had some like decent stuff, but I'm just looking to just buy something plain and comfortable that I could wear for the plane ride home, because I don't want to wear this long sleeve on the plane, so I'm gonna feel weird. But we're excited. Food is on the way. UFC